The clock is ticking down for the release of Black Ops 6, and so I brought in Zombies extraordinaire GregFPS to discuss everything Black Ops 6 Zombies, from the augments to the prestige system and everything in between, as well as some of his hopes and dreams. Let's dive in. You know what could be a good place to start? And I'm going to argue about this with Stanley next week, but was the tweet that you posted.
Yeah.
My God, I was actually... my jaw hit the floor a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It really did.
In which way?
So for those who don't know, I'll post it on the screen so you guys can see it. But it was basically along the lines of somebody saying that they hated Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 because it didn't really tell you how to get Pack-a-Punch. Now, if we go back to that era, maybe when I first jumped into Zombies, I was a little confused on how to get Pack-a-Punch and how the systems work, but you figure that out over time. But like, when I see a tweet like that, I just feel like it would be the same as if I went into like a multiplayer space and I was like, oh my God, I hate the way that you can't see player outlines behind walls. Like, it's so much better when the developers just like show where everybody is on the map. And I feel like multiplayer people would look at me and be like, well, then don't play multiplayer. Like, if you don't like the fundamentals of the mode, if you don't like that feeling of discovery or progression or the hunting of other players, then like maybe this isn't the mode for you. And that's kind of how I read that comment. It's like, dude, if you don't even like the basics of discovering a tiny little quest to upgrade your weapon, like basic stuff, it's not even that complicated, then maybe this just isn't for you. And that's okay. That's okay. There's so many other games out there to play. That's kind of what I look at it like. But I don't know. For some reason, everybody's obsessed with the casual fan now, and I just don't quite understand it.
Yeah, I don't think that we need to prioritize the casual fans that are going to play once and never play again. And I mean, looking at it from this guy's perspective, when you go to the underworld, the only way to leave is by opening Pack-a-Punch, because the portals don't spawn to teleport out.
Very true.
So I mean, that might be, that's a pretty tight area, I'd say, as opposed to the main map. I mean, the whole map's pretty tight, but I mean, there are open spaces and like the amphitheater or down by the Gaia perk and stuff like that. So if he was just going to essentially kill zombies, I mean, it's fairly obvious, I think, for how to open it, but like when the cage is being guarded by Spartoids and then the other one's hanging up and you literally hear the bird call. Okay, maybe it's like, it took me probably 20-25 minutes to figure out what I was doing, but I figured it out, and then I made an Easter egg or tutorial for opening Pack-a-Punch, like, and he commented on that video specifically. So I mean, the fact that he had to look it up, I mean, he clearly doesn't want to have to figure stuff out, and that is the problem with casuals, is they expect instant gratification, and that's like the whole thing with like Warzone and multiplayer, right? Like, everyone wants to get rewarded for what they do, whether it's a win or whatever, get the most kills and stuff. But like in Zombies, it's not about getting instant gratification, it's about the entire process of the game.
Exactly.
You can't expect to go into the boss fight right at the start of the game. You have to work towards that and upgrade towards that and everything like that. So like, it's a basic thing, I think, but like, as you and me know, playing Zombies, you get acquainted with every system by playing it over and over and over. And like, constant practice and constant like challenges that you encounter, it just makes you a better player over time. You're not like the same. Like, this happened with me. Like, I barely ever played multiplayer back in the day. I was mostly just playing Zombies. And then Modern Warfare 2, I wanted to play multiplayer because there was no like new zombies or anything. So I would go and switch between World at War Zombies and Modern Warfare 2. And I was terrible at multiplayer. Like, I was so bad when I first started playing it. And then by the end of the year, I was nuking every lobby almost. Like, it's just one of the, I mean, I only needed 7 kills for a Harrier, but like at the time, like, you know, I was terrible, man. I was getting wrecked, and then I started being good. Like I remember playing on the morning of Black Ops 1. I jumped into a game before school on jungle and was getting chopper gunnered on. Okay. Next, like later that day, I was dropping chopper gunners on other people and dogs and all that. So, I mean, it like you gotta play to get better, whether it's anything, you know, like playing the drums, you have to keep playing to get better, or, you know, doing anything really. So, for people not willing to do it with zombies and then expect it to be easy, it's not the case. You have to get better.
Yeah, and that's something I was talking to Dalek about last week. Was the first time I played Shadows, I had no idea to get Pack-a-Punch, and you could maybe make an argue, well, maybe that was a little too intense, but I personally loved it. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I just wanted to keep doing it over and over and over again until I figured out what was going on. But I mean, even with Drak, which is one of the simplest Pack-a-Punches of all time, of just hitting square or X next to the Pack-a-Punch and then going to the next one and doing that again, there's still no hand holding in that sense. Like, you have to open up each of these locations, survive, making sure that you are opening up the map in the correct way so that you can get Jug. So like the way you start in the map is you see Jug like right at the top, right? And you're like, well, how the hell do I get there? Because this door is closed. So then you go all the way around the map and all the way back, and through there, you'll pass some of the Pack-a-Punch areas. Hopefully, you'll find power, but through navigating and experimenting, that's where the fun is. It's like it's like lifting every rock up and seeing what's underneath, turning over every stone. And that, I will go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and that's how you develop your play style as well, right? Like, yeah, I remember when I first started playing Die Machine, I would go through the door next to the build table and then go up that way near stamina up and out that door. But now, after like learning about the top of Nox thing and all that, now I go out the quick revive side every time.
Oh, interesting.
I by the other door, and then I go through, like, blow up the wall or whatever and go out near the truck and all that. So it, like, I think developing, like, everyone develops a certain play style depending on what door you buy, right? Like, some people will buy the spiral staircase on Noct or buy the help door, or one or the other, you know? Like, having the ability to play both is cool. But yeah, like, having choice is what makes zombies so cool, because you decide the way you're going to play and what you want to do.
Well, and to talk about that instant gratification aspect that you were talking about initially, I think gobble gums help skip that. So, like, you know, and this is how I use gums. Like, so the first couple games, whenever I get into a new map, I try to play it the way it's supposed to be played and get that sense of progression, understand how things go. But then if I've been playing for like 3 hours and I'm still like slamming my head against the wall and I'm frustrated, or I just want to get into the game a little bit faster, then I'll use gobble gums. But I always make sure to at least try to play the game as it's supposed to be. But for those who need that extra hand holding, for lack of a better term, the gobble gums are there. The elixirs are there. It can help you blow through every door so that you can get to Ancient Evil Pack-a-Punch by round 2. It can help you Pack-a-Punch your weapon with wall power. Like, there are so many things that you can do to ease the burden of zombies if you're struggling. And I don't want to get into this totally right now, but that was one of the things with Cold War, is they took all of those gobblegum or elixir features and baked them into the core gameplay mechanics so that you were just constantly overpowered at any point in the game.
Yeah, I was, you know what's crazy? I was doing some research earlier, like on my break, for type of videos I want to produce for Black Ops 6, like brainstorming ideas and stuff. So I was just looking around, and you know how, like, in Cold War on Die Machine, it like shows you how to turn on power and open up Pack-a-Punch pretty much? Yeah,
like with the icons on screen.
Milo has a Pack-a-Punch guide with 1.4 million views.
I know.
For something that already is told to you in the game. So it must not be, I mean, maybe they didn't do a good enough job, or people just want to watch Milo, which I totally can understand why. He's very, a great content creator and I watch pretty much all his videos. But I mean, like, it's crazy to think about that, you know, like, wow.
Well,
I was like shocked, dude.
even think about it from, well, so this just backs up what what you're saying is during the COD pod with Dalek. Oh, I totally should have brought this up when I was interviewing him. But the Kevin Drew was like only five, what do they say, like 5% of people were completing the Easter eggs on D Machine when they were that easy, when they were highlighting everything in
like
yellow.
Only 5% of players, yeah. But like, you don't really know what stats they're basing that off of. Is it 5% of people that loaded into the game, or is it 5% of the people that bought the game? Like, I mean, I would hope that it's not like it's from people loading in the game, but like, there's probably people that get to like round 10 and then stop playing, you know, like it's hard, it's really hard to realize what percentage that is, you know.
And that's kind of what makes me wonder, like, yeah, so yeah, I completely agree with that percentage aspect of like how you're shaping the data. So
Because I feel like Treyarch has done that in the past, and I believe you tweeted about this as well.
I know I bitch about it all the time.
Yeah, no, well, like the same thing. They brought up like random stats about how more people played Outbreak when after it was the like literally a week after it came out. So obviously everyone's gonna play the new thing. Like that is complete BS stats, in my opinion.
Same, you know, with what I mean? MWZ.
Because you know, I mean, yeah,
most played third mode of all time, or in a modern warfare title. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, obviously it's only in Modern Warfare because way more people played like Black Ops 1 Zombies and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. Like some of these COD stats are a little whack, but we'll let it slide for now. I'm just excited for Black Ops 6, to be honest.
I am really excited about Black Ops 6. I genuinely am. Am I worried about the simplicity of the mode and like the hand holdiness with the Easter eggs and stuff? I really am. There's that scumbag that's tweeting out all the side Easter egg steps for Terminus. Like, what are you even doing? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That literally makes me so mad. But anyway, I wanted to kind of talk about I actually haven't really talked to you about your Liberty Falls takes or anything like that. So I'm really curious. Like, what do you think about the blog post, the Zombies blog post, and the changes that they made to Liberty Falls, and how are you feeling about the difficulty curve, and what do you feel about Black Ops 6 right now?
Okay, so I went into like watching COD Next with like an open, you know, I wanted to try to embrace everything that we got shown. And to be honest, I was really tired that day and not really feeling Liberty Falls. So
sure.
At first, I thought it was terrible. I went and took a nap, and then I woke up and watched gameplay for like 4 hours because I had the day off. So I was like, whatever. So I took a nap, woke up again, and started watching it. And like, I think my first reaction was a little, you know, disheartening. I was really just not like impressed at all.
Okay.
And some of the things that like really worried me was like just buying the door to the church to go to Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, while watching gameplay, that some of the areas were not open. Same thing with like the vault. People opened the vault and like the rewards were terrible from getting keys and all this stuff. So I have a feeling that like what we saw at COD Next was the most bare bones possible way to make a map. They said it was the early build. I want to pray that there is some sort of like small quest to open the church and it's not just buying the door. There's going to be other areas that will be able to be opened. You can see that in the gas station photo that they put out, there's actually a door to go into the gas station that was opened, which was not openable in the like pre-build of the game or the COD Next version. So I really think that a lot of those things are going to be better than what we saw at COD Next. So them like adding to the atmosphere, it's obviously going to be better. There was another image where the dark Aether was not even in the church. It was outside of the church. So I would assume through the quest, you know, things are going to change. And also, I kind of have copium when it comes to more to the map, at least like an underground portion or something, because I really want to see how Samantha and Richtofen, engage with each other and like how that will affect the game overall. But one thing that really annoys me, and which I think is a huge missed opportunity, is not having a set crew on that map, because like even the guy that you meet like
Blanchard?
with Richtofen, yeah, Blanchard in the cutscene, right? Like I feel like he would be a really cool character to play as.
That's
And
who I
even
thought
if
we
it,
were playing as, you know?
yeah, and even if it was just three other like random people that work there or something, like that could have been really cool conversation. Like, whoa, Richtofen's going crazy today. Like, have that whole thing. But now I think he's just in our ear, kind of like, helping us go through and navigate the map more so. But I mean, overall, that looks, it was a little bit interesting. I don't really have a bad take, but it did, like, the gameplay did not look good. And we got the updated, like, HUD with the character icon, which I think is a huge thing that should have been there to begin with. And it was really, like, the most bare bones when some guy named Duke Dennis, who doesn't even play zombies, can get to around 50, no problem. I mean, that goes to show how easy it was. Obviously, they said it was going to be harder and more difficult, so that remains to be seen, I guess. Terminus, on the other hand, it looks like a zombies map. From the gameplay to the screenshots, everything about that map looks so much more enjoyable and overall. So that's the map I'm going to be jumping into first for sure.
Okay. No, all fair. I want to comment on some of the Liberty Falls stuff. Like, so first things first, like I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I do not believe Treyarch when they're saying like, oh, it was an early version or whatever. Like, technically, I guess it was an early version because they're always going to constantly be working on things. And yes, I believe that the Easter eggs were turned off and stuff, but I genuinely believe that that was how the map was supposed to look. I do believe that the door to the church is a viable door. I do agree with you that there probably is some sort of like hidden area, or maybe like maybe you teleport to it, or maybe it's like a
Well, there was like trucks blocking stuff, which I feel like wouldn't be there if the map was like. I know they say it's like really small or whatever, but like if you think about it, like Horizon Jack's a fairly small map.
Yeah, it is.
But it has like the launch pad area as like an extended area. Like I feel like there has to be an underground area. Like, why would they make the cutscene that crazy and good, and then not include those parts of the map on the map?
I don't know.
Like, think about this, right? Like, wouldn't it be so cool if you get teleported to like Richtofen's room, right? And you can get the Wonderwaff there or something, like teleport to the mansion and pack punches up the stairs in the main room, or like, like no one wants pack punch in the church. I mean, it's cool, but like at the same time, like just buying the door is really lame. And I honestly do not think that's gonna be, like, I could be completely wrong about this, but I don't think it's just gonna be buying a door. And I think Treyarch has to prove themselves here. Like,
I don't know, man.
they like when out like all the old games used to be just buying a door, okay? But like we've evolved past that for sure. Like Gorod flying, Mob flying, Origins turning on all the generators. Like, I think we've evolved past that now, and I don't think you can just have a door be bought to get pack punch.
I agree. We've evolved, but here we are, catering to the casual. Like I saw this this other tweet, and again, these are anecdotal data points for everybody out there. I know this doesn't represent every casual fan, and I know it doesn't represent every hardcore fan, and there's a lot of different types of zombies players. But there was another tweet from somebody who was upset about the Wonder Fizz machine not being able to be utilized till round 25, and how they wanted to just get the perks whenever they wanted. And people like I just don't understand these mindsets. Like people just want this like one stop, lazy, simplistic way to just like go up to something, press square, and then like go do whatever we're gonna do. And I just don't quite understand that, because that's not how Zombies was built upon. Everything in Zombies has been built upon this sense of discovery, and so that's why I just don't believe that Treyarch went back to the drawing board or I think Treyarch went back to the drawing board. I don't think that this is what Liberty Falls was supposed to be. So maybe they do make the door. Maybe they do put the door on a quest mission or whatever, but for the most part, I think that they saw the community reception. They saw how we were like, this is just Cold War, ×2 or whatever, and we need to have more of that atmospheric element. So I think they did it for us in response to that. And so that's my concern, is that their go-to, their initial way of building things is like, how can we make sure everybody likes this, but then give the hardcore community what they want? That's what's concerning to me right now. And so we'll see if I'm wrong. But even from talking to Chopper and Dalek, and who have both played the game, they've even said, like, jumping in, it is pretty easy. Like, it's a really fun gameplay loop. And so, yeah, I'm just concerned that it's like casual first, hardcore kind of second, and it makes me sad, because thinking about Kino, thinking about Rise and Drag, thinking about Origins, thinking about that sense of progression to becoming so overpowered that you could master the map. It seems like there's a bit of an inverse where you're starting off with the option to have everything handed to you. There's no special features on the map like they used to have. Like, I can get every single augment on every single map, every single gum on every single map, every single salvage piece of equipment on every single map, all the same guns. Like, everything's just like it's like a hodgepodge, and it's designed with live service in mind, over than longevity of a fun experience that's meant to please the Zombies community for years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with all the sentiment there. I think that part of it is true, that it was still a build, but like at the same time, these companies like Call of Duty, they make maps way in advance, dude. Like, I went to the capture event for Ancient Evil, and on a whiteboard, they were making the Tagdertoe Gauntlet. So like, they're ahead, like
100%.
they've probably already made 2 more maps at least, so like, I don't think they would spend time remaking a map unless they actually needed to.
Which is why I think it's a call to the response. Plus, look at the cutscene, bro. Like, the cutscene of Liberty Falls it looks like the map. None of that other stuff. The gameplay trailer. None of these purple clouds or like the gloomy sky. Like, none of that's in the cutscene or the trailer. Which is why I think they just saw us and they're like, okay, we do actually have to give them what they want.
Is there any other maps though that like are like that, where the intro cutscene doesn't show anything on the map? Because like, thinking about it, like, I mean, maybe ZNS, where you like float in on the boat and you start in the water, but like that, like all the previous maps, it kind of leads up into the start of the game, like the Origins into Rise and Drag, like you see the robot on the sky and you take the lift up. It makes sense. ZNS makes sense. Falling out of the sky makes sense. Like on Gorod, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man.
Okay. You know what? This actually, so last week, when I was talking to Dalek, he actually said this, and I think I misunderstood what he was saying. I think he was actually saying what you're saying, where the cutscenes were actually leading you up to the starting room, as opposed to the Cold War cutscene, like these modern Zombies cutscenes, where it's just like telling a bit of a story, and then you're like in the map because you get helicopter. You could take a helicopter there. Yeah, that's a good point. I never really considered that. So, yeah, they're just in service to the greater narrative of
yeah, I mean, if they want to explain
Aether.
the story, that's totally cool, man. Like, the cutscene was phenomenal. Like, it was really cool, but it leaves a lot to be desired, which could be answered on the map. It all depends on like how it goes, honestly, and that's remains to be seen. I'm excited to see what that could mean. I really hope there's more we get to see Richtofen the entire game throughout, you know, and see his story and how it progresses along with Weaver and everyone else. But yeah, for right now, I feel like they didn't show enough. But I mean, that's why we're buying the game, right? We're gonna be figuring that out, and that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I actually think that Liberty Falls, I think Terminus is going to be solid. I don't think it's going to be a masterpiece. I don't think it's going to be an Origins. I don't think it's going to be a Horizon Drac or an Ancient Evil or, in my opinion, a Blood of the Dead.
We can hope.
I think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be a masterpiece.
I think like B tier or A tier.
Yeah. Probably. But I think Liberty Falls is going to be, I don't know why, but even though despite all the things that I feel about it, where the atmosphere and it seems a little easy, and despite all that, that's the map I think I'm going to jump into first. I just want to kill some zombies and get used to BO6 systems and get used to how it feels. And I think that's where I want to go first. And that's what my gut's telling me. My gut's telling me that Liberty Falls is going to be like this sleeper hit. It's going to be super fun to just get in there and grind out some zombie camos, to do the little Easter egg on there, maybe do some side quests to get the jet gun for free or whatever. Like, I don't know why. I'm really drawn to it despite all of the negativity surrounding it, or maybe not negativity, but just the caution around it. And I think that's probably why, because I know Terminus is probably going to deliver on that zombies experience, but Liberty Falls, I'm so unsure about it. I think it's going to be great, but I'm not entirely there. But before I've kind of like belabored that for a little bit, but like, what do you want to see out of the BO6 zombie season? Like, we got our Terminus map, which is like the ominous, spooky, classic zombie style. Then we got Liberty Falls, which is like our, more casual experience. Like, what do you want out of DLC 1? What are you looking for out of Black Ops 6 Zombies as a classic hardcore fan?
I mean, I don't really necessarily have like anything. Like, I know there's been leaks of like what maps are going to be. I haven't looked at any of them, so I don't really know anything about that. But like, as far as like what I want, I don't want facilities. I feel like every single Cold War map, it was just a facility like on the entire map pretty much. Like, what happened? I know like even Black Ops 3, they were all pretty much, there was facilities everywhere. But at the same time, like, Revelations didn't have one. There's the possibility to make maps without facilities, and I feel like they're overutilizing that too much in a way. But like at the same time, like, just think outside I want outside the box maps. That's what Chaos had, man.
I know.
Like, all those maps were such bangers, and none of them were in a facility. Think about that. Like,
I think about it every day.
They're all in really cool locations and unique and everything like that. So like, give us that. I know like the Chaos story has not been me. I know they were just setting stuff up in Cold War, but it hasn't really hit lately. Like, I don't think that I really enjoyed the story at all. I found all the intel. I did all that. Yeah, the Dark Aether story. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I just feel like it didn't really hit with me. Like, it didn't resonate like the old story did, and nothing will ever compare to that except for the ending, which was destroyed and horrible and thrown in the trash. But like, BO3 is still the real ending for me.
Sure.
I like the thought of them being in a cycle forever. But I don't know, man. I think like they need to really hammer the story like in on us and like have us be invested, because I feel like I was not invested in Cold War at all whatsoever. I feel like having Richtofen can help, and us getting more like involved with having Weaver like playing as the characters. I think that will help on Terminus a lot with like the story. But as far as like maps go, man, like, just do cool shit. That's really all I care about. And I want the gameplay to be great, and I also want the story to be good. I want to be invested. I want to be involved and like actually care about what goes on in the game.
Couldn't agree more.
And as far as, I mean, obviously I want the Easter eggs to be freaking good too. Like, that's the biggest thing for me. I think I want the Easter eggs to be better than Cold War, and whether they're like crazy good or like I just want them to take a little bit of time. You know, like Black Ops 3 was really cool because it took a while to figure out, but once you figured it out and knew everything, you could do it, replicate it really quickly. And that was a cool thing. Like even in BO4, I think the BO4 maps were a little bit more difficult overall, but that was cool. And that's what made every launch of a new map fun for me.
Yeah, so I took 2 notes here, the Cold War or the Dark Aether story starting in Cold War and then the Easter egg stuff. So I agree pretty much with everything you said, but I will say that I try to remember, and it's hard to think like this because we're the ones paying top dollar for the product, but during Cold War, it's like it seems like they had grander ideas to tell this story, but with all the budget cuts, or not budget cuts, but just the cutting of content because of COVID and them working from home and then losing Blackout 2 or whatever, and then them having to inject Outbreak into it. It felt like they were really dragging out the setup of Dark Aether. Like I felt like they could have told that story in maybe 3 maps, and had something grander set up for Forsaken, and then actually closed up the storyline with an actual real round base rather than giving us Outbreak, and maybe it would have given us a bigger cliffhanger. Obviously, Vanguard and MWZ hurt that momentum, but I do feel like the story is starting to get interesting. Like it's really cool that Peck is back inside of Terminus. It really does seem like he is, like, you can't fully trust him yet. You don't really know what's going on, but then also Richtofen is like a sympathetic bad guy, which is huge. A lot of games, I don't know if you pay attention to all AAA games, but a lot of the times the AAA games just have a bad guy who's bad because he's bad. And that doesn't do anything. You need a bad guy that you can be sympathetic to, like the dude from Avengers, the Infinity Stone guy, the purple guy, Thanos. Like the reason he is a good villain is because you kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing. Now you don't agree with it as a fan, and you're watching this all develop, but you're like, I get why he's doing this. He wants to save humanity by wiping half of it out, which is insane. And it's the same kind of thing with Richtofen. It's like he is on this mission. We're not exactly sure what he's doing, behind closed doors, but he lost his family. He hates Weaver. He wanted to trap Weaver inside of a prison. Now Peck is turning the tables against Richtofen, breaking them out of prison. We have Maya's brother who is somehow trapped in this facility. He's probably going to play a part in the Easter egg. That's all super awesome. Liberty Falls, yeah, not as exciting, but maybe there is a lot more to the Samantha Richtofen story that we will get to learn. I think that'll probably be set up for the next experience, DLC 1, which is why it's so close behind afterwards. But I think the story is going to be really awesome. In the intel sucked inside of Cold War because there was 10 million pieces of it. I don't want to gather all of that information.
I kind of like that, to be honest. And now they did say it is viewable in the menu, which is good, I think.
There was just too much. I felt like you liked having that much intel.
No, just finding it.
Oh, sure, that's okay.
I would go into Outbreak when a new season is coming out the next day. They would have all the intel already there. So me and some of my friends, we jumped in on Outbreak and we just scoured the map and found intel. And that was fun, finding everything. Now, obviously, some of the Easter egg steps were intel. So I remember I made a few videos showing where they all were on on every map, really. I think until I wanted to bring up another point as well.
Sure.
Besides that, I think free DLC has ruined Call of Duty quality.
I go back and forth at this point, but I'd like to hear.
I've talked about this so many times, I feel like, but when you think about it, dude, free DLC means that we are the developers are not being held accountable at all. Okay? Yes, they're going to keep using the COVID excuse for why Black Ops Cold War was not good or something, but why is Outbreak considered DLC 2? And we only had 5 maps for the 4 maps.
4 round-based maps and then Outbreak.
Yeah, I think that's some BS, bro. If the DLC is going to be free, then give us good shit, please. Like, I don't want some like half-assed bullshit experience like we've been getting the past 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, even like Modern Warfare Zombies was like horrible, like from start to finish, as far as like giving us good content, and Vanguard was like non-existent pretty much. Like, and Cold War was pretty lackluster. So I just need them to give us actual good content and like a good amount of it. Beside, like, the game's going to have good content, but I'm talking about like, I want quality maps and, you know, quality like stuff to feel like it did when I bought a DLC or when I bought a season pass. Because like, when you bought a season pass, you were guaranteed 4 new multiplayer maps, whether like 2 of them were remakes or 1 of them was, and then you're like guaranteed to get a good zombies map, pretty much. You know, like some more than others, but like you could always count on having a cool map regardless that you were gonna enjoy. Especially with like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, like you knew you were gonna be getting a new map and it was gonna be like fun to play. And that's I still am looking forward to the maps, and like I know they're going to be fun to play, but I feel like the quality is just not there when it comes to free to play now, because they're not being held accountable. They don't have the like they don't have the like they don't have to make 4 new maps and a new zombies map every time. They're not forced to do it like they were before.
So I partly agree and I partly disagree with this sentiment, because the hold on a second, I'm writing these notes down. So basically it's like back in the day when Call of Duty was getting started and they had their map packs, like the DLC pack was kind of a standard gaming business model. And so it was in Call of Duty as well. So that was primarily how they made their revenue. So they dumped everything into those map packs, and multiplayer would get the best at that, you know, all the best stuff. Zombies would get all the resources. And that was pretty much like their main sense of extended revenue as far as this live service stuff goes. So in that sense, I do agree that there is a little bit more riding on it, because that's how the studio is going to make their money for the rest of the year, you know, by pleasing fans. But now there are a lot more streams of revenue. So there's battle passes, there's bundles, and obviously COD points, and then people buying stuff from previous games. And there's just a lot inside of the Call of Duty ecosystem as far as a business goes. Now, I can see people saying, well, there you go. That's the answer right there. Now they don't have that same obligation. And I would say, yeah, kind of, but also then they're going to be pissing off the customer base. If they do not deliver on the most current Call of Duty title and make things as good as possible, well, then they're not going to keep those fans, and then they're not going to buy the shit in the shop. They're not going to go back to old Call of Duties and see what's going on. They're not going to want to stay inside of the Call of Duty ecosystem writ large if they don't deliver on the top tier content. And now when we go back to Cold War, I can see COVID not being the best excuse, but they were working from home. They took over 2 studios' development on what was supposed to be not Treyarch's game. It was a mess. It was definitely a mess. They're eventually going to be transferring over to the IW engine or the Call of Duty engine. So there was a lot happening. Not the customer's fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. So it sucks that we had to pay the price for that. But I would argue that when you look at Modern Warfare 3, the one that just happened, multiplayer had a pretty stacked year, and all those maps were free. It seemed like multiplayer fans were pretty happy. So I'm hoping now that Treyarch has had more time to work on this game, has more time to learn what zombie fans want, has had more time to get used to this engine, to develop the story, to actually put a lot of effort in, has tons of revenue coming in from the battle pass, COD points, bundles, etc. They can actually deliver on that. The only thing that I would be unsure about, and this is something you mentioned, you're like, they don't have an obligation to make X amount of maps or whatever. I would like to know what their contract is for, because they have some sort of legal department that says they have to deliver X amount of content. So I wonder if there's something like when we purchase the game and we are hitting acknowledge in the menus, does that say like you're agreeing to an experience that delivers seasonal content? We have the right to change XYZ or whatever. So I would be curious to what their legal obligation is to the player base. But I do think that having more revenue coming into the studio is a good thing, but it does spread out the amount of tasks that Call of Duty has to do in order to keep the quality bar super high. Just hoping that since Treyarch had more time, they can deliver on that quality bar across the board, and it seems like they are.
I want to say something in follow up as well, which gives me hope. We do know that like Treyarch is only making round based maps for this game. They're not making Outbreak, so that's good. That gives me hope. They need to follow through with the free model and prove it to me, because
agreed.
I have not been proven yet since it switched over.
Well, just think about like, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I do think your perspective is logical. I just don't know. I just feel like we don't have all the information. But remember, this prestige system, from what I've previewed, I tried to look at it quickly before we met. It looks like, we're having 3 or 4 camos we can unlock. There's tons of shit that we can unlock along the way. There's gobblegums that we can get for free. There's weapon blueprints. Like, there looks like there's a lot of free stuff inside of this, on top of the bundles, on top of the battle pass. So
I agree.
I think I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like they're trying to deliver on that, on all the things we've been asking for.
I mean, they're giving us incentives to want a prestige and stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
I just want to get that out there. I know this is completely derailing like your topics. Sorry about that, but
you can talk about whatever you want, man. I just have topics to keep us on track, but you're allowed to talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, that was just a small tidbit of like thoughts I want to throw out there. We can get back to Black Ops 6 and other stuff you want to talk about too.
So, well, I wanted to you did say you had some stuff about Easter eggs, or you said you will hope the Easter eggs are good. And I wanted to actually ask, what does a good Easter egg mean to you? Does that mean the puzzles, the difficulty, the boss fights? Like, I love the boss fights, so I just want a great boss fight. Like, just at least one, please. What does a good Easter egg mean to GregFPS?
I personally love co-op Easter eggs. I know that's not a fan favorite.
That's controversial right there.
Yeah, no, I really do. I think Shangri-La is like one of the best Easter eggs ever made, because you need 4 players all to be on the same page. And even like steps, like I think Shadows was cool because each person was responsible for doing something at the end. Like 3 people were shocking, 1 person was shocking in the middle. Same thing with like Buried. Everyone was responsible for sharpshooter, their spot, getting all the targets. Like stuff like that, I feel is really, really fun when it's multiple players playing together. But then I can also see the side of like playing a map solo and how it's different. But one thing that was really cool with like Call of the Dead, for example, is you had a soloable Easter egg, and then you had a co-op one that had more steps to it, which I think was really cool. And they were 2 separate achievements that you could get for doing it solo and doing it co-op. And like things like that, I think are really important to a map and make them memorable when you have to do something that is out of the norm, or like change, I don't know, like changes the gameplay. But as far as like talking about what I think is a good Easter egg, I think like having a small puzzle, like Horizon Drac there's not really any puzzles. It's more of just like Simon Says and then like killing a bunch of zombies and stuff. So I think Horizon Drac rather is a good Easter egg. I think Origins, it's kind of not that good of an Easter egg when you think about it, because you're really just upgrading the staffs for 90% of the game.
Yeah, it is.
The rest of the other 10% is basically killing zombies, and that's it. Like you're killing panzers, you're shooting the plane, killing that guy, getting the Maxis drone, and then punching zombies, and then getting 100 kills.
I do like the punching zombies part. That is fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's a really fun map, and I don't think Origins is bad. It's one of my favorites. But I think good Easter eggs really come down to like the actual components to the game and like the mechanics of the game as well. Because one of I think the best Easter eggs is like Gorard Krovi, where you have that difficulty in the boss fight, which is really good. I think having a difficult boss fight is very important. and that can literally dictate, like, you want to feel unsafe when you're in a boss fight,
Yep.
you know, like you want to feel like you have to, you know, you know, lock in and get that, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I
So I
know.
think having that feeling of like I could totally blow it right now, but I don't want to, is really important to finishing an Easter egg. But leading up to that point, I feel like there needs to be some sort of challenge, and that's why Gorod was really cool with the valves until someone made a program that everyone uses now to just like figure out which switches to switch. If no one ever made a program, like people had to figure that out, and that was like one of the hardest things for me, dude. Like me and my friends figured it out eventually, and we did it without like anything, but like it took a little bit of time and it was hard. People didn't know what to do.
I
Like
still don't
after
know what to do. I just Google it.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's why everyone does. That's why
yeah.
Milo has the Cornorium website, so you can use that for that. But I mean, like, just stuff like that is really interesting, and like I think we haven't really gotten many hard challenges like that in Treyarch games. We have in other games. Like in World War II, there was like, I remember on the last map, the Frozen Dawn, there was like all those symbols on like a wall, and you shoot them and it turns, but it all, excuse me, it
Yeah,
also
I
affects other
remember
things.
that. Yeah.
Like those puzzles are really, really cool. And that's what I like, despite World War II definitely not being one of my favorite games, it did have fairly challenging puzzles. And I think that we need harder stuff like that. Like we need a hard puzzle. But the problem that I see going into Black Ops 6 is that they're going to have the guided mode. And if they make the guided mode easier than the hardcore, like regular version of the Easter egg, that is fine with me. I do not have a problem with that. But if they're going to do that, they need to make the puzzle, like before the guided mode comes out, be actually difficult and have the Easter egg take like longer than,
Yes,
6 or 8 hours. I want this Easter egg to take like 18 to 24 hours
like a day.
at
Yeah.
least, like I really want to see like that difficulty implemented where you have to put your thinking, like making the chemicals on Attack of the Radioactive Thing, like the chemistry step, like that was so out of the box and crazy. And now I'm on like every FBI watch list for looking shit up like that. But like, but I mean, at that point, dude, like I just thought that was really cool. And I feel like having those puzzles are very integral to the part. But like, as far as like Guard was, like kind of a fetch quest where you have to do different things, I think that was really cool. And the same thing, despite not liking Blood of the Dead, it was kind of similar where you had to do something as well. So in a way, like I think just like experiencing the map and using the entire map for the Easter egg as well, which is really important as well. So like there's a lot of factors. I think co-op Easter eggs are always more enjoyable for me, but it
That's
doesn't have to be co-op. I think the steps just have to be fun and interesting.
well said. That's very interesting. I agree with you about the puzzles for sure. One of my concerns with the puzzles in general is like, oh, okay, well now when I do stuff in Cold War / Modern Zombies, and there's like a puzzle happening or a cutscene in game or whatever, like the zombies just run away from you. So if that's happening, and I think people disagree with me about this, and that's fine. I don't like when the zombies run away from you. Like I think they should always be attacking you at all times. Like they if they go
Sure,
away,
sure. You're talking about like Alpha Omega when like Rushmore's talking. There's no zombies, so you can listen to. Same thing with like Meet Peter McCain and things like that, where like there's just no zombies and you're like kind of living in the moment, right?
that part, well, okay, so in Alpha Omega it's like serving to the story, I guess, and then there's a in Firebase Z there's a cutscene with uh
Pack.
Peck, which I guess is fine if you just want to listen to the story, but um like when you're oh, shit, what was it? There's something in Cold War. I'm like blanking on it now. There's like a couple times where you're like doing stuff, and I feel like the zombies kind of come at you, and even though you're trying to like solve a puzzle, or maybe it's just in the Peck thing, and I'm overthinking it.
Well, it has been annoying in the past though for like certain steps where you can't get like doing like Morse code on Blood of the Dead when zombies can still attack you. Like that's really annoying in my opinion. Like you should have been able to close that door Think about that. Like lock yourself in that door so zombies can't hit you, and then do the Morse code and then open it after.
Yeah,
Like stuff like that would have been really cool.
maybe
But
I'm misremembering, but no, I disagree. I disagree. I think zombies should always be hitting you. I do.
I know I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying like
I
I agree I agree with you with zombies always being able to attack you. I
but
agree with that.
maybe I'm misremembering Cold War then. I thought there was more stuff outside of the peck thing where it would zombies would run away and you could like kind of mess with stuff. Well, it all is a service to the story because in D Machine you can go up and drop the journal at the ghost and zombies run away. With Peck, you go up to the window, zombies run away. You grab stuff, the arms for Klaus in Mauer Toten, or grab the knife out of the head and fire basically zombies run away. So it's all in service to the story. So I guess it's actually not a big deal now that I think about it.
Like
Puzzle-
it makes sense for them not to attack when there's like an in-game cutscene.
Yeah. I thought there was more like puzzle shit where they would run away, but maybe I'm
There really wasn't many puzzles in Cold War. Like one of the biggest ones that I can think of off the top of my head is the getting the Ray K quest, where you have to look at the computer.
That was a good
and
one.
see the dartboard and zombies are attacking you, so it's really hard to like
You're right.
know exactly. That was like, I want stuff like that.
Me
where
too.
You have to think about it, you know? And like I remember Smart Guy figured that out before the Easter egg came out. So then everyone knew how to get the Ray K from that, which I think made the quest faster because you need the Ray K for the Easter egg. So like having a quest like that, as long as it doesn't get leaked, like maybe it takes a little while for the wonder weapon to be figured out how you can get it for free, and you're not just spamming the box or doing those challenges or whatever.
Yeah. Are those challenges in the game or in BO6? Oh yeah, they are.
They are, but we don't know where they are.
Yeah. It's that
So,
like Maxis machine
like
or whatever.
like on like Mauer or whatever. Like it took a while to get to the tank where the machine was. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, we don't know where they are. They could be really easy to get to. They could be right away. They could be later on. We don't know.
Okay. I really just lastly before we get into the lightning round area is I just wanted to ask about augments and gobblegums. Like what are you thinking about them? I guess to quickly just say my opinion, I think it sounds really awesome. I am concerned though about the need of gobblegums. Like I just don't know what the purpose of them is going to be when we have all these things and all these extra features and augments. And the way Cold War kind of works is a lot of these gobblegum features were baked into the perks and stuff, but augments seem to flip it a lot on its head. But yeah, how are you feeling about those?
So I think they removed a lot of things that we had before and tried to cram them into augments. Like Dying Wish is part of Quick Revive. Which,
Yeah.
You have the Victorious Taurus thing cooked into Juggernaut with the plates and all that. Like I think the augments are cool. I like when I'm doing like camo challenges, I'm gonna tailor to whatever camo I'm going for. Like if I'm doing like headshots with an AR, I'm rocking Deadshot all day on that. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting headshots, I need to get critical kills or whatever. Like I'm gonna be running Deadshot the entire time for that. Like I'm gonna try to tailor it to whatever I'm doing in the game. But I feel like if I'm playing in a co-op game, like having those things be tailored to where my teammates can keep perks if they down, like that's really going to be important. We need a medic on the team, and I'm down to be the medic for the team if that's what it takes. So I think it allows you to play different ways. If you're playing solo, then maybe Juggernaut and protecting your back is more important, or being able to like have a little bit more sprinting speed because you're going to be training. Like things like that is really cool, so you can tailor it to how you're going to play. But the thing that I don't like about it is it's all in the menu. You have to pick before. I guess it's kind of down to like how long it takes to unlock them, because I did look at like some leaked achievements and one of them was like get 50 augments or whatever, and I know there's like 100 and something. I think it was like 108 or something like that. So like that's going to be really interesting to see like how that works and how fast you can get them, because I mean that's something I want to learn how to do. Like level up fast, get augments fast. Like I want to make videos about that stuff. And I mean, it's just going to take a lot of testing and time, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to tailor it to the game. And as far as like gobblegums go, like I don't necessarily need to use gobblegums. I feel like Perkaholic is not as good as it used to be because you can buy every perk regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that are cool is the Wonder Bar one where you can get the Wonder Weapon from the box. But if that makes it so the ray gun is included in that, that kind of sucks, honestly. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I
I
don't want
see.
the
Yeah.
ray gun when I want to get the like, you know, the
The
jet
other
gun
thing.
instead.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? So that kind of is worrisome. And then they have that new gobblegum as well, which gives you your gun legendary that you're holding, which is crazy. So
wait, I didn't see that one. Which one's that?
yeah. So I think you unlock it at, or you get it at level 54 in the battle in leveling up. But they have a new like ultra rare or whatever where it makes whatever gun you're holding legendary like instantly.
What? That's
Yeah.
sick. I did not see that one. I see there's one called Hidden Power.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. I thought it
Yeah.
literally gave your weapon like a hidden ability or something. I didn't actually read it. That's sick.
So it makes your gun legendary or whatever weapon you have.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think honestly that's probably the best out of all of them.
It might be. Yeah, it might be.
Because like think about this, right? Like you could speed through the Easter egg and like maybe you don't need to be fully powered, and then like right before the boss fight you pop that, your gun's like 300 times stronger than it was. And like as long as you have packed a couple times, like you're golden, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that was the main problem with Cold War as well, where it costs so much salvage to upgrade your guns. You could do it by like round 30 or whatever, but like it still took a while, you know, and you had to pick whether you wanted to upgrade your gun or get armor.
I heard
feel like
that
with the armor prices and stuff, it's going to be a little crazy there.
I heard that the grind is a little slow. Like it might be pushed further into the.
That's fine because this entire time we're going to be going through rounds. We're going to be getting more gobblegums.
Exactly.
Well, which I think is cool. And I kind of like the fact that like having those good gobblegums is going to be kind of rare unless people buy them, which I'm definitely not going to be purchasing gobblegums in the game. I'm going to be playing to get them like I did in like I have like hundreds of every gobblegum in Black Ops 3. I didn't buy it Liquid Divinium once. I grinded the game. And that I like that it has that grind factor where you can, you know, stack that stuff up.
Well, if they're in bundles or if there's a blueprint I want and they're in there, then I don't think I'll care. But I don't think I'll buy like packs of gobblegums for sure.
But they did say like I know you didn't really look into the like prestiging and all that, but I'm pretty sure like you unlock gobblegums by going through the levels. You're not unlocking the ability to have a gobblegum, you're just getting a free gobblegum for going up into that. So that you're gonna be getting them every prestige. You're gonna be getting like by the end when you're prestige master, you could potentially have 10 of every gobblegum just from leveling up. And also on top of playing, you get a gobblegum pack for like reaching I think level 20 and prestige 1, like stuff like that. So like they're gonna be giving the gobblegums out a lot, but I feel like we need to know the system, and like honestly they're gonna be adding more. So like now might be a really good time to grind and get Workaholics and Wonder Bar and Hidden Power, like getting all those when there's less gobblegums in the pool, so that later on in the year you could have like 100 of them and use them when you're like trying to do an Easter egg, like a really hard boss fight or something.
So is the gobblegum earned?
I think it's just going to be more of a thing to enhance the game and make it easier, but at the same time I think augments are more important than gobblegums.
Probably, yeah. I'm just trying to understand the grinding system. So let's say I'm a level 1 character and I'm grinding out to get gobblegums, right? So if I play round 1 and I get, or I'm level 1 as a character and I get to round 50 and I earn a Perkaholic, can I use that in the next game, or do I have to wait till I get to the level to unlock the Perkaholic to be able to use it?
No, they're all unlocked right away.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, you could use the Perkaholic as soon as you earn it.
Okay.
So like you're in the game and you get unlocked, you get a Perkaholic for getting around. You can switch your loadout and use the Perkaholic right away
Okay.
if you wanted to. But like obviously, I'm gonna try to save as much as possible. I'm gonna be frugal with some of them because I want that. You know what I mean? Like some
Yeah,
of
it
them are gonna
depends
be
on their
really
earn
really
rate.
useful.
Depends on their earn rate, but I
Well,
think
they said every few rounds, but the fact that they're going to be giving you gobblegums while leveling up, I'm sure there's going to be some in battle pass. There's going to be like packs, I would assume, for things like that. Like I think it's going to be cool to like the whole system seems pretty cool. Like I love that in Prestige 1 you get a Weaver as a zombie skin.
yeah, I'm
for
looking at that.
prestiging. That's crazy to me. And like it's all themed to a different game. So like you're getting a Doris loading screen, which is crazy cool. And like a zombies animated emblem, and like the gun looks like a Thompson or something. Like there's a lot of different ones. There's apparently a gun, I forget which level it is or prestige, but it's like it's inspired by the Origins robots. Like
that's pretty great.
That's so cool that they're like leaning into the zombies thing, because it shows that they actually care, because they're including zombies with pretty much all of these things. Like Ted is prestige 7 icon or 6 or whatever.
But but yeah, as far as the gobblegums go, I think Perkaholic actually might be useful depending on if all the perks are in the map or not, and if the Wonder Fizz is locked until round 25 and there's only 5 perk machines in the map, well then Perkaholic actually might be useful.
Well, that's another good thing that I think that like level 25 Wonder Fizz thing happening is. I think that it's gonna allow like make players buy the perk at the perk machine.
Yeah.
Which I feel like no one did, because the Wonder Fizz was like so easy to use on like Firebase C, like it's pretty much open right away. Forsaken right away. Like all these maps, like Die Machine, you could just go into the Dark Aether and go when you're doing like the coffin dance, go buy all the perks or whatever. So I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, but at the same, like I think having to know the perk locations, it adds another video to the list for people to make, and it also makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
like if you're doing camo challenges and you need headshots, you're gonna want to know where Deadshot and Drug are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does actually feel like see this is why it feels like to me Treyarch is really trying to cater to both ends of the community. It's just when I hear about it, when I hear about the gameplay in action, and it's just, granted I've only heard it from like 2 or 3 people, but it still feels like it's very simple, it's very easy.
It was not the case in the gameplay preview or COD Next event at Liberty Falls. You could go to the Wonder Fizz at any point. It wasn't locked till 25.
Well, I'm just saying in general. I'm just talking about all stuff. Like,
yeah, no. I'm just adding that in as an anecdote, but at the same time, like, I'm looking forward to seeing how everything works together for sure, as far as augments go and gum and everything.
I will say, out of all the zombies that have happened, like that we've had in our lives, this seems like the most convoluted in terms of systems. Like you have your gobblegum system, your augment system, the salvage system, points system, Easter eggs, the grind of prestige. There's actually a lot, the camo grind. There is a lot of systems here, and that is pretty cool, because
I kind of felt that way going into Black Ops 4 as well with the perks.
Yeah,
like, I was kind of worried about it, but I don't think it really hurt the game at all. It kind of just enhanced the different play styles in a way. So I think this is going to be good. It really depends now on the maps and like how they play and
the Easter eggs
and the
story.
Easter eggs, of course. Yeah, and like the side Easter eggs, I want really hard side Easter eggs, like spork knife difficulty ones that are crazy.
I want there to be side Easter eggs that
like we know there's going to be a side Easter egg for getting the wonder weapon pretty much on every map, because that's how it was in Cold War. That makes the most sense, especially if you need the Easter egg or the wonder weapon for the Easter egg. So like that's a given, but like I want other stuff too where you can maybe get a perkaholic like we had on Forsaken with that like weird Easter egg.
Yeah, the mannequin
But
Easter egg.
I just don't want to have to down for something. That was really lame in my opinion. Like you have to take it down in Tombstone to do it. But like I just want there to be a lot of really cool stuff. Like cool, not necessarily like game changing, but just stuff that's like, wow, that was really cool. You know what I mean? Like I want to say cool a lot. Oh my gosh, that's so sick.
Yeah,
I just want to
clever, creative.
I want to have those moments, which I feel like I had in the old games, like ZNS Spider Boss fight. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. That was like one of the craziest things ever that I did. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
cool, just cool stuff. Like changing the zombies to skeletons, or like, you know, all these random things that were so like spider bait. I mean,
No,
I could go on forever.
From the smallest to the
awesome
biggest.
side Easter eggs.
Like just walking out of the tunnel from the spider boss fight and seeing the pool of widow's wine on the ground, all the way to the spider boss fight, the skeletons, whatever. And one thing I hope that they do inside of a Black Ops 6 is like, okay, fine, let's have an Easter egg or side Easter egg reward where it's like breaking the game. So let's say I use all my self revives, like let me do a quest to get a fourth one. Like maybe there's one hidden behind like a dead soldier or one of the zombies that ate a soldier at the beginning of the game. Maybe I can do some Easter egg and get a self res pack out of him, or maybe there's a Easter egg quest that allows me to get another augment. So now I have like 2 major augments on my jug. Like just shit like that where it allows me to push and go above and beyond.
I feel like that could potentially be like a super Easter egg thing where you can use multiple augments.
That would be
on
great.
Multiple things. But like apparently like didn't I might be wrong about this, but like you know when you like open a door and there's like zombies and soldiers, can you kill the zombies and save the soldiers? Like what happens then?
You know I think they're like already dead or they're the dying.
Or they're like being eaten.
Yeah.
And then they run towards you. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Just don't make us escort survivors, please, for the love of God. That was the worst thing in Infection ever.
Yeah. I don't think they'll make us do that, hopefully. But
I don't think so either, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of wrap things up, it does feel like from a systems point, all these systems are so big and deep. And it's stuff we've been asking for forever. Like part of the problem with BO3 and BO4 was we were like, hey, there's all these great maps and Easter eggs, but we want this. We want to be able to grind the battle pass inside of zombies or get a tier skip or have these challenges give us a reward. We were always wanting rewards inside of zombies. Now it seems like we have all the systems we want, but we don't know if the maps are going to be BO3, BO4 quality with the Easter eggs that are BO3, BO4 quality. So,
but if they are, it could be one of the best zombies.
Exactly. Which is why I have a lot of hope.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, man. I really do. Like, I think a lot of the stuff, like, it seems like every blog post is like, wow, how can they make this better? You know what I mean?
I know.
That's how I've been feeling about it.
It's fucking crazy. All right, so we're gonna just quickly go through our lightning round. It'll be so the first couple questions, you know, you can provide a little bit more of an answer, and then the quick lightning round questions are just like go with your gut kind of stuff. So the first question is, what zombies map or mode do you dislike the most? So you can pick a map, or maybe you can pick like a onslaught or a gauntlet or a grief, or like what is something you dislike the most inside of zombies?
The transit pack punch process. But as far as maps go, I know John said the Darkest Shore.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, but also I would say Vanguard in general as like just not it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Did you like Shino Numa? Reborn,
yeah, it was pretty good. It's better than original Shino Numa, in my opinion.
Yeah,
despite
so weird.
I mean, that was the best part about Vanguard, to be honest. And even then, like I played Shino so many times, so it's kind of cool having that like extra area. But just the systems were just not good.
Yeah, they really weren't. All right, who is the best zombies developer besides Treyarch?
It was Infinity Ward before Lee Ross left and like some of the other people.
Would you say that Sledgehammer had a chance with like World War II or Modern Warfare Zombies? Or is it Infinity Ward Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer made better Easter eggs than Infinity Ward, but Infinity Ward had a better gameplay system, I think.
So would you like to see? Like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Even Raven made Exo Zombies, and I think Exo Zombies is like super good and underrated for how interesting it was. It, like,
so
totally changed zombies.
If you could pick one of those developers to make zombies again and have another crack at it, like it's 2026, Treyarch's done. The next developer is bringing round-based zombies to the table. Who do you want to see it made by?
I lost all my hope with Infinity Ward. Straight up.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Me too. No, me too.
Like the Modern Warfare games are just bad.
They are.
Like I hated Modern Warfare 2019.
Me too.
Modern Warfare 2 was not good. I still did all the mastery camos and everything.
Don't know how you did it, bro, but you're a trooper.
I mean, I like playing COD. That's like my thing. But even if it's just multiplayer, but I think Sledgehammer could do a better job than Infinity Ward when making a new zombies round-based thing.
Yeah, I would probably say Sledgehammer and then maybe because Raven.
They listen to the community, which is something that Infinity Ward does not do. It seems like you give feedback to Infinity Ward and they do the opposite thing and piss everyone off. And they think they're high and mighty and like the best developer ever, and that's their whole mindset, elitist BS, which is not how it should be.
It's wild.
Like Treyarch, they listen to the community and they make good decisions about like how they do things.
They do both.
And Sledgehammer also will listen to the community and make changes, even if it's complete overhaul to their game, like they did with
World War II.
World War II, yeah. Like they totally changed the whole game because they want to make the community happy, and that's important to retaining a player base and having players support your game.
Yeah, it is.
I think Sledgehammer.
I agree. So you did say this a little bit before. You gave us a hot take, but do you have any other crazy or hot takes about COD Zombies?
I mean, I don't want to dive into it, but I think Mob of the Dead is still better than Blood of the Dead. I don't know if that's a hot take. I know you disagree.
I do like to give you a little bit of shit about it, though. It is fun.
I'm not talking about it. Everyone gives me shit about that. The best non-playable characters in Zombies is Arthur.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't really have a ton of hot takes, to be honest with you. I'm pretty mellow when it comes to things, but if I think Fortnite ruined Call of Duty Zombies.
It didn't help. That's for sure.
No, I mean, I remember before, like playing Black Ops 4 at the studio before the game came out. They said we have an entire team behind this game. Next day, they all switched to Blackout.
Really?
Yep. And we learned about that at the Ancient Evil reveal thing or early event where, yeah, at the start of the game we had 300 devs working on zombies, and now we have 10.
I don't understand. How do they only have? What happened? Is it because of Battle Royale, or was it because of the reception to?
I think how popular Fortnite was, it forced Call of Duty to make Blackout, which in turn reduced the amount of maps we could have gone in Black Ops 4, which ended the zombie storyline. The lack of the map, like at the launch of the game, it took them a month to fix the blue screen issues. If they had a full team, they could have fixed that in like 3 days, like a week.
So you're saying before launch they had 300 people and you met and you saw the team, or when you went to go play it, and then you're talking about an Ancient Evil, you learned about all this.
That's what they like. It seemed like it was like that, I guess. I don't want to like like I signed NDAs and stuff. I don't know if they're still like active or whatever, but like, I'm not trying to like put Treyarch on blast. I love Treyarch. Like, great job, guys. Keep it up.
No,
But like,
I think Chopper
I
said
think
some similar stuff like this out
I think
publicly.
for like people disagree with that take, but like I find a lot of reasons. Like, we went to the free to play model because of Fortnite. We it made Warzone, which got full like support by Call of Duty, and they kind of left zombies in the dust, even though it was like one of the most popular like DLC things ever with Chronicles. Like, we kind of get the crap end of the stick now because of Warzone now, and that was all because of Battle Royale. And I think honestly, I think Battle Royale is kind of like hanging by a thread now. It's kind of going, it's on the decline now, I think.
Yeah.
And the teams are looking for the next best thing, and I think honestly, it might have been DMZ.
I've heard that
I really enjoyed DMZ, dude. It was so good.
I've heard the extraction shooter thing is the next big trend. I don't think it is, but maybe.
I mean, maybe zombies is the next big thing. Like, please.
It could be. I think that's a bad thing if zombies is the next big thing. I want zombies to get funding and stuff, but I don't want it to be the next big thing because then it becomes mainstream. And then
I just want it to be a big thing in Call of Duty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. I
want Call of Duty to care about the zombies community more when it's not just Treyarch.
Well, once things become mainstream, then they become diluted because they try to appeal to the most people, and that's when things turn to shit. But
help my career and get more views because of that.
Well, that's true. That is also true. But yeah, I think basically Fortnite popularized the Battle Pass and Battle Royale, which bled into COD, into all these games all the way up through the finals, the most recent shooter, or even the one that just got killed. I forget what it was called. Oh my gosh, that
I know what you're talking about.
Whatever it was called, that got killed by Sony. And it's like battle passes are in everything, store bundles are in everything. That was all because of Fortnite. And then I think Modern Warfare 19 ruined Call of Duty. So I think it's a kind of a double-edged sword there. So this is just another question I asked. I wanted to start asking for fun, but do you have any other YouTube channels, or do you ever plan on covering any other games?
I have one other music reaction channel, but I haven't used it in like years now. It's been like a few years.
All right.
And that was like something I did for fun, but then it became a chore to post every day.
Sure.
So I might, if I have more time, I might go back to it eventually. But right now, with a full-time job, I don't really have time to devote to another channel besides my main GregFPS channel. And even my GregFPS channel is like dying right now. So hopefully I can revive it in Black Ops 6.
This is the time to do it, man. This is the time to do it. Okay, now we're in the fast-paced questions. These are just like quick, go with your gut questions, and then we'll be out of here. So first question: perk limit or no perk limit?
No perk limit. Actually, perk limit. Sorry.
I was gonna.
I misspoke. I misspoke.
Like, what? What? Shield.
Perk limit.
Shield versus armor.
Shield is better.
Double tap or rarity system?
Double tap.
Okay. Favorite consumable system, like over the years? Like Gobblegums and BO3, Fate and Fortune and IW.
BO3.
BO3 gums. And you think there's a chance that BO6 gums could top that, or do you think that BO3 is just the classic?
With the dashboarding and BO3 saving your gums, it's never going to be as good as that.
That's true. That was a special time, huh? Yeah. Okay, what other mode are you going to play aside from zombies in BO6, like Warzone, campaign, MP?
MP.
Ooh, you're the first person to say MP. Everybody else has said campaign.
No, I don't really care about the story that much. I'll play it eventually, but I care more about. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say one.
No, it's okay.
I want to play Nuketown because it's supposed to be the classic one.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
comes out on November 1st.
That's true.
While I'm still on my paid week vacation.
Nice. That's the only plus about working from home is like I can just be like, I can take a break or take my lunch and then play zombies or whatever for a little bit. It's like the only plus. All right. Eliminate an era from the zombies lexicon. You have to pick from Zelensky, Lundell, or Kevin Drew. Which era would you eliminate from zombies?
Up to this point, Kevin Drew.
Ooh, spicy.
Because the other ones are too good, and we haven't like that could totally change
by the end of this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
If Kevin Drew, let me rechange the question just a little bit. If Kevin Drew knocked it out of the park and like every map was like Ancient Evil, Origins, like, but with all these new amazing BO6 systems and you just loved it, what would you change your answer to?
Give me Zelensky.
Okay. Wow. I was actually kind of surprised. I thought you might go Blundell because I know you really like BO1 and BO2.
Well, I like Jimmy Zelensky maps, but I think Mob of the Dead and Origins and Black Ops 3 outweigh Jimmy Zelensky.
Okay. All right.
Like all the Black Ops 1 maps are really good and unique, but they're not really difficult.
No, they're not.
Like Shang and 5. But Buried's the best Jimmy Z map, I think.
I don't know why I wrote this question down. I don't even remember writing it. You don't have to answer it, but I kind of want to read it. I wrote, who would win in a boxing match, Cameron Dayton or Lee Ross? So
Lee Ross.
Okay, you guys in the chat, I don't know if I'm going to ask that question anymore, but you guys in the comment section, you guys write who you think would win. Okay, so I did eliminate. Okay, should open world zombies ever return?
No,
never. Not even an Outbreak. Nope. Like perfect version of Outbreak.
Nope.
Did you like
that out of here?
Nope. There's the Bostonian. Did you like MWZ at all? Like at all?
A little bit. I played every update day, and that was cool. But at the same time, like it was literally the DMZ map, the Al Nasr map. So it wasn't unique. It was just reused.
So did you prefer it over Outbreak?
Yeah, I had more time. The camo grind was fun. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it just wasn't round based, you know. Like that's why I'm so excited for this year, and I think a lot of people are. Is like now we're finally getting like dedicated round based maps, which is way more enjoyable than like open world and whatnot. Like if I was playing Cold War, I would not play Outbreak. I would play a map instead, or you know, something like that. So
okay. All right. Well, that is all my questions, Greg. I really do appreciate you coming on the show. You know, you're welcome on anytime, any day. Well, maybe not any day if I can't do it, but you're welcome on any time we host an episode here. I'm actually thinking about hosting an episode with like a couple people, like having a couple guests on at the same time. If you'd ever be interested in that, I think that could be fun.
Debate.
Yeah, Zombies Debate Club.
Debate Club, yeah.
We'll have a whole debate. I'll be the moderator.
Mob of the Dead versus Blood of the Dead. Let's get it.
We should actually do that. We should have a segment in one of the episodes where we just kind of talk about the differences between the two. I think that would be good because there's a lot that I don't actually really appreciate about the map that I'm sure you do that you could change my mind on.
Well, you probably haven't played it enough.
Well, really, my main sorry, we'll save it for another day. But I really do appreciate you coming on. Like I said, you know that you're welcome on anytime. So thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me on the podcast. It's an honor.
Hey man, dude, this is a wild honor for me. Like I've grown up. Well, I'm a little older than you guys, but like I've watched your content, Dalek's content, like all you guys for a long time. So it's always surreal when I get to hang out with you and just talk shop. And it's great. So I do really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
I still have the highest score on that game show thing.
I think, wait, did you or Chopper? I can't remember.
No, I had 2 points more than him. I got like 39 out of 40 or something like that.
Okay.
Or
well,
like 38.
Yeah, I think you beat him by 1 or 2. You're right. Yeah.
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 Let's go.
I don't know if I'm ever going to bring that show back, but it was an experimental time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We'll see. Well, like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for participating in the chat in the comment section, and appreciate you guys all for watching. Thank you so much. That's the end of this episode, and I'll see you guys after Black Ops 6 launches with Stanley 557. Peace out, everybody.